Hello, you are watching Chapter 6 of my TearRing Saga Champions of Utena low turn count playthrough. In the story of this map, our army is trying to break through the last line of defense between us and the Castle of Welt, where the treacherous Duke Codder is holed up. I've already hinted at this, but this playthrough is going to be a full recruitment playthrough. And this map is the first map in the game where this requirement costs us turns. Admittedly, it's only one turn in this case, but there are going to be maps later on where full recruitment costs us many more turns than that. One thing to note about this map is how it handles its deployment slots. Our army is split into three groups, one over on the left, one in the middle at the top, and one over on the right. And it's important to make sure that the right units get put into the right groups. In particular, Zieg needs to be in the left-hand group because that's the closest to the boss that he's going to go after, and Sasha needs to be deployed in the upper group so that she can reach the unit that she needs to recruit on turn 3. Runen is forced into the upper group, and he is being powered up by Seafarer on this map. Raffen is also up there, and these two units are going to have a crucial role in helping Sasha reach her recruitment. Meanwhile, I deploy both of my magic units with Zieg, because there are three enemies who are right in the path that he needs to take to reach the boss, and they are by far the best at removing them. Lee in particular one-hit KOs the enemy that he's charged with defeating, which makes up for his slightly shaky hit rate of 69%. The objective of this map is to defeat the boss, which is similar to a siege objective in that we need to get a unit over to a specific point, but in this case we can use much more mobile units than Runen in order to do this. This is also why Zieg needed to get Kanto, because he needs to move again after attacking on this first turn in order to have any hope of reaching the boss in time. On the other side of the map, Martel is doing her best to continue to get kills on the Iron Lamps, and Vega is over there getting as much experience as possible, because he needs to reach level 10 in order to promote by a certain later map. Not much is going to be happening on this upcoming enemy phase, so I'm going to take a moment to talk about the weapon that Zieg just used to kill the enemy in his way. Kaga already had a Devil Sword and a Devil Axe in the first Fire Emblem game, but it wasn't until this game that he rounded out the trinity of physical weapons with a Devil Lance. Like the other Devil weapons in the series, the Devil Lance has a chance to backfire. In this game, the chance of that is 31 minus the user's luck %. However, Zieg, as a Shadow Knight, does not risk this backfire. It's a special property of his class. And that means that he has a really strong weapon that he can use with no downsides. Other units can also use the Devil Lance as a method of AI manipulation, but this is very, very risky, and there are better ways of doing it, that I will point out later on when it could have been relevant. Zieg getting roughed up a bit over these first few turns is a good thing because it powers up his wrath, and I'll point out that I forgot to take the magic shield off him, which would have made him take more damage from this mage, but it turns out alright in this run. And here, at the start of turn 2, Mel shows up. You may remember Mel from Chapter 4, and now she's going to join us. She is the first unit who we get due to visiting the house with Runen in Chapter 3, and she's pretty nice. She is a mounted healer, and mounted healers are always good because they can keep up better with our other units and don't have to waste physics saves to do so. If I was to have Sasha move down and talk to Mel, she would give her the Pegasus Flute, which allows Sasha to promote into a Pegasus Knight. However, as you can imagine, this would cost a lot of turns, given that Sasha also has to be in the upper right corner to recruit another unit shortly, as mentioned. So it ended up not happening in this run. How Zieg moves on this turn is actually pretty important. I have him killed at the Spearman and then move down to occupy the place that he used to be. The alternative, moving Sieg all the way to the left, I found tends to get Sieg's path to the boss blocked by the bowman on the subsequent enemy phase. And that's just not acceptable, because we need 2 possible rounds of combat against the boss in order to make this part reliable. So, over this upcoming enemy phase, Sieg is going to continue to take a bit of chip damage, which will help him increase his reliability against the boss. One thing that I didn't mention last map about Sieg is how incredible his growths are. He has easily the highest growth total of any unit that we have right now, with 55% growths in strength, skill, and speed, in addition to an 80% HP growth and a 35% defense growth. Anyway, that's enough raving about Sieg. At the start of turn 3, Norton and a company of reinforcements arrive, and because we managed to get Runen and Raffen over there fast, we were able to get them in a position where some of the reinforcements were forced out of position, and that means that we just need to move Raffen out of the way in order for Slasher to reach Norton and recruit him. Norton is an armored knight, and in this game, armored knights have 3 movement. There are heroes characters who routinely have more movement than him, and heroes maps are 8 tiles by 6 tiles. Each of the armored knights in this game does have a way to get around their low movement, and in Norton's case, that's his promotion. He promotes into a Great Knight, which is mounted. However, obviously in this run, we are not going to be dragging Norton's 3-move ass around to get him to level 10, so he's never going to see that promotion. We're going to chip away at these reinforcements a bit to get some levels on Runen and Raffen. And Runen just picked up an iron bow from killing one of the enemies, and that's going to be useful as a middle-of-the-road damage option on Raquel at some points. Normally, I would have walled Sasha in with Raffen and Norton in order to help her survive the enemy phase if we had to go to that. However, in this run, I used an armor on her, so I wasn't as worried about her survival. And also, it turns out we don't need to go through the enemy phase in the first place, but that's just a reliability thing. Sieg is now engaging the boss, and Wrath is doing its thing, giving him 54 listed critical. As you will see, a hit and a crit are not enough to kill this boss outright, but Sieg manages to get adept, and then overkills with a double critical here. If Sieg doesn't get any critical hits on this round of combat, and the boss is left at fairly high HP, he will attack fairly early in the next enemy phase, allowing Sieg to finish him off. But that doesn't have to happen in this particular clear, and that's the map completed in 3 turns. If I was to do this map without Kanto Sieg, I would have to use Martel on enemy phase 2 and player phase 3 in order to kill the boss on turn 3. I think that's all for this video. Thanks for watching, and I will see you next time.